My cousin left her laptop open with her messages still logged in. I was about to log her out when a notification popped up on the screen. It was a message from a group chat. To celebrate Hayden's improved grades, we're having a family dinner tonight. Curiosity got the better of me and I clicked on it. There were only 4 people in the group. My dad, my mom, my brother Hayden, and my cousin Alara. My brother replied, "Since it's just the 4 of us, let's not invite Simone, she's always so petty anyway. Remember how she picked a fight with Alara over a single apple?" I froze. It turned out I had become an outsider in my own home a long time ago. Right then my phone rang. It was my mom. "Simone, your dad and I have some things to take care of, so we'll be home late. Bring in the laundry from the patio and fold it for me. Oh, and Hayden and Alara are busy today too, don't wait up for us. Just grab something for yourself to eat." Before I could even process what she said, she hung up. I walked out to the patio. I stared at the piles of laundry belonging to my brother and my cousin. Everything made sense now. I had just been lying to myself this whole time. I didn't know when it started, but I no longer fit into this family. I grabbed the last apple in the kitchen to eat. Last week Alara said she wanted an apple and the whole family demanded I give mine to her. I had offered to cut it in half so we could share, but all I got was a lecture from my mother. "Half an apple isn't even enough for a snack," she snapped. She snatched the half from Alara's hand and tossed it into the trash. Then she grabbed Alara's hand to lead her out. "Come on, Alara, your aunt will buy you a whole bag of fresh ones." My brother had glared at me with pure hatred. "Are you really that stingy? You had to fight Alara over an apple?" My dad just sat there acting like it had nothing to do with him. I used to think they were just being extra nice because Alara was a guest. I thought they felt bad because she was staying with us. I was wrong. I was the guest. I was the stranger. I gathered the clothes, folded them, and put them in their respective rooms. Their rooms looked so cozy with their plush bedding and warm lights. I glanced at my folding cot out on the enclosed patio. A wave of bitterness washed over me. The second morning after Alara moved in, she had dark circles under her eyes. My mom rushed to her asking if she hadn't slept well. Alara sighed and said she wasn't used to sharing a room with anyone. So I was asked to move my bed to the patio. My aunt had just passed away and I felt sorry for Alara's loss. I didn't want to make things hard for my mom, so I agreed willingly. But my kindness only made them push me further. Because I was the understanding daughter, I had to give up everything because I was mature. Mom only washed Alara and Hayden's clothes while I did my own. I was the one doing all the chores while they just enjoyed themselves. Before she came, they loved me. How did everything change the moment she arrived? I sat on my cot scrolling through my phone aimlessly. I saw a post on a burner account Alara used. It was a photo of my parents, Hayden, and Alara all laughing together. They looked like the perfect family. The caption read, "It took a while, but I finally have a mom again. Thank you to my aunt's family for giving me a second home." People were commenting below. "Congrats, your aunt's family is literally a godsend. So happy for you, babe. You deserve this happiness." I hit the like button on that post, then I left a comment. "I hope your family stays happy forever." A few minutes later the post was deleted. She probably forgot that she had used my phone to follow her burner account once. Seconds later she called me. "Simone, don't take that post seriously, I was just posting for fun." I actually laughed. Her ability to be two-faced was truly impressive. In front of my parents she acted like the perfect sweet girl. Behind their backs she used her seniority to bully me. I had sucked it up for months. Whenever she successfully stole something from me, my family called me petty. I tried to explain myself, but I only received their scorn. Seeing that I wasn't replying, she started faking a sob over the phone. "Simone, you're mad, aren't you? I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. I just wanted to feel loved." She broke into a full-blown crying fit. Before I could say a word, my brother Hayden snatched the phone. "Simone, that's enough. It's just a post, why are you always so small-minded? You made Alara cry, apologize to her right now." My heart sank. I hadn't even said anything yet. I was the one who needed to apologize? I let out a cold laugh. Apologize for what? What exactly did I do wrong? Hayden was fuming. "You know what you did. Making Alara upset is the same as messing with me. I don't care, apologize now or don't blame me for what happens next." Then I heard my mom's voice in the background. "Hayden, don't talk to Simone like that, she's your sister." But then she spoke into the phone. "Simone, Hayden is still young, don't take it to heart. Also, we're just having a quick bite to eat, don't be upset." Hearing her words made my chest ache. I said coldly, "You don't have to explain. You guys are the real family anyway." That sentence set my mother off. Her voice went up an octave. "Simone, how can you say that? Is this really because we didn't bring you to dinner? Are you seriously making this a whole thing? If you're that desperate to eat, I'll Venmo you $30, go buy whatever you want." A notification popped up immediately. She had sent the money. I sent it now, drop it. She hung up the phone. I stared at the screen and smirked. If this was what family felt like, I didn't want it anymore. I dialed my best friend Roxy. That project you mentioned, is there still a spot for me? Roxy answered instantly. Of course, Simone, finally. I've been waiting for you to join my team. When can you get here? I'll book your flight right now. I didn't hesitate. Tomorrow, as early as possible. After I hung up, I felt strangely calm. Roxy had invited me multiple times, but I always refused because I didn't want to be far from home. My dream used to be staying close to my family. But now I was done with that dream. They didn't get home until late that night. The smell of alcohol hit me the moment they walked in. I was in the middle of packing my things when they saw what I was doing. My parents' faces shifted instantly. Mom rushed over and snatched a pile of clothes from my hand, throwing them on the floor. Simone, what are you doing? Are you trying to run away from home? I already sent you money, why are you still throwing a tantrum? I silently picked up the clothes and looked her in the eye. A tantrum? Is that what you think this is? I saw the group chat. Did you ever even consider me part of this family? My mom's face went pale. Simone, let me explain. I laughed. Don't bother, I don't want this home anymore. My dad finally spoke up, but his words were full of blame. It's just a group chat, what does that prove, Simone? You're just too sensitive. Sensitive? Fine. Let them think what they want. They were always going to make me the villain anyway. I ignored them and kept packing. Alara stepped forward crying. Simone, did you see my messages? I'm so sorry, this is all my fault. If I hadn't moved and things wouldn't be this messy. She reached out to grab my arm. Simone, please don't be mad at the family. If someone has to leave, it should be me, you're the one who belongs here. I shoved her arm away. Stop acting, I'm not falling for your fake sympathy anymore. I didn't use much force, but Alara stumbled back toward the corner of the table. Hayden caught her just in time. He pulled her behind him and shoved me hard. I wasn't prepared for it, I slammed into the floor. My knee hit the ground with a sickening thud. The pain brought tears to my eyes. He didn't look sorry at all. In fact, he looked satisfied. That's what you get for putting your hands on Alara. Maybe you'll think twice next time. I saw a flash of concern on my mom's face. She started to move toward me, but Alara's sobbing stopped her. Auntie, maybe I should just leave. I'm only causing trouble. My mom immediately turned her back on me and pulled Alara into a hug. Oh honey, don't say that, I would never let you leave. You only have us now. Then she turned to me, her eyes filled with disappointment. Simone, you've gone too far this time. I am so disappointed in you. Disappointed? A tragic smile touched my lips. She wanted me to yield to Alara every time, and I did. She wanted me to be the mature one, and I was. What exactly was she disappointed in? That I finally stopped letting Alara play me like a fool? Or that I discovered their secret and refused to play along? Mom, I'm a human being, I have dignity too. My dad tried to play the peacemaker. Simone, your mother is really upset, just apologize to Alara and we'll put this behind us. Always with the apologies. Every single time I was the one who had to say sorry. Not this time. I looked them in the eye and said firmly, I will not apologize. I didn't expect Hayden to lose it. He kicked me while I was still on the ground. We'll see how long that attitude lasts. I tasted copper in my mouth. I spat out a bit of blood. But Hayden didn't stop. He kept shouting. Simone, don't you try any tricks with me. I'm telling you, if you don't say sorry to Alara, I'll keep going until you do. He raised his foot again. My dad grabbed his arm. Hayden, stop. She's your. Hayden snapped back. She's not my sister, she's a petty brat. I don't want a sister like her. Alara is my only sister. My mom chimed in then, her voice cold. Simone, don't blame us for choosing Alara. Look at yourself. What happened to the sweet girl you used to be? She led Alara into the bedroom. Out of the corner of my eye saw Alara looking back at me with a smirk. Her eyes said, you'll always lose. Everything you have, including your family, belongs to me now. Hayden looked like he was waiting for a signal to continue. My dad, seeing that my mom had checked out, didn't bother staying. He went to his room. Hayden cracked his knuckles. Simone, I'm giving you one last chance to apologize to Alara. My hands aren't exactly gentle, don't get beat up for nothing. You're going to apologize anyway. I was seeing him for who he really was for the first time. He was a stranger. Sure, we had our squabbles, but he had never been this cruel. Now he looked at me like I was a criminal who deserved to be punished. How did we even get here? Alara's manipulation was top tier. First mom, then dad, and finally Hayden. They were all willing to hurt me for her sake. I let out a weak laugh. Even if you kill me today, I won't apologize. Hayden's fists rained down on me. I didn't make a sound. The physical pain was nothing compared to the hole in my chest. Eventually my dad came back out to stop him. That's enough, we don't want a police report on our hands. Hayden finally got bored and walked away. The house fell into a heavy silence. I lay on the cold floor thinking about every memory I had with them. After a while I heard my parents whispering in their room. Did we go too far today? No, Simone was out of line, she needed a wake-up call. I'll just make her favorite meal tomorrow to make it up to her. You know her, she's obsessed with this family, she'll get over it. I smiled. It was because they knew I loved them that they felt they could trample on my dignity. Right then my phone buzzed. It was the flight info from Roxy. The flight was early tomorrow morning. I dragged myself up ignoring the pain. I grabbed my ID and walked out the door. As the door clicked shut I felt a massive weight lift off my shoulders. This family, I didn't want them anymore. The street was dark. Not scary dark, just quiet, the kind of quiet that only exists at 2 in the morning when the city has finally exhaled. I stood on the pavement for a moment. My knee throbbed. My lips still tasted like copper. My bag was half-packed and sitting on my shoulder and that was fine. I didn't need the rest of it. I pulled out my phone. Called a taxi. Airport, I said when it connected. That was all. No explanation needed. I sat on the curb to wait. I didn't look back at the house. Not because I was forcing myself not to, it just didn't occur to me to look. The chapter was closed. You don't reread closed chapters. The taxi arrived in 7 minutes. I got in. Gave the driver the terminal number. Leaned my head against the window and watched the streetlights go by in long orange smears. My father was probably in bed. My mother too. Hayden was probably already asleep, satisfied with himself. Alara was in my room, my old room, under my blankets, in my space, wearing the expression I'd seen on her face as my mother walked her away. You'll always lose. I smiled at the window. We'd see. The terminal at 3 in the morning is a different world. Almost empty. The lights too bright for the hour. A few people in transit sleep across 3 seats with their coats over their faces. A cleaner pushes a cart in slow loops near the far wall. I found a seat near my gate and sat down. Stretched my bad knee out carefully. It would bruise dark by morning. My phone was full of nothing. No missed calls. No messages. They were all asleep. They didn't even know I was gone yet. I opened the conversation with Roxy. Flight confirmed. 7 a.m. I'll pick you up. I stared at those words for a moment. Thank you, I typed. Her reply came back in under a minute. She was awake. She'd probably been waiting. You don't have to thank me. This is what friends are for. I set the phone face up on my lap and looked at the departures board. My flight was listed. On time. For the first time and I couldn't remember how long, I smiled. Not because something was funny. Not because someone expected it. Just because it came. I let it stay. The plane took off just after 7. I had a window seat. I watched the city pull away beneath us, the roads becoming thin lines, the buildings becoming blocks, the whole familiar geography of my life compressing into something small enough to hold, and then smaller, and then gone behind the clouds. I had grown up there. Learned to read there. Had my first argument with my mother about curfew in that city, cried over a test grade, made Roxy laugh so hard she snorted at a birthday party in a restaurant that was probably still there. I let all of it go at altitude. Not erased. Not forgotten. Just, set down. I'm not coming back, I said. Quiet enough that only I heard it. The clouds covered everything. Roxy was at arrivals with a coffee in each hand and no questions. She just handed me one of the cups and hugged me with the other arm. I hugged her back. She didn't ask what happened. She didn't need to. Ready to start over, she asked. Ready. The apartment she'd found was small. 3rd floor, no elevator. The kitchen was barely big enough for 2 people to stand in at once. One window faced a brick wall. But the bedroom had a real bed, a full-sized one with a proper frame, and there was no patio with a folding cot. No cousin's things on every surface. No one else's laundry to fold. It was mine. I put my bag down in the center of the room and stood there for a moment with my hands at my sides, just feeling the size of it. Mine. My mother called the next morning. I was eating toast at the small kitchen table, reading something on my phone, and her name appeared on the screen. I looked at it for the full duration of the rings. Then it stopped. A minute later, a text. Simone, where are you? We woke up and you were gone. I read it. Set the phone face down. Picked up my toast. My father called 10 minutes after that. Simone, your mother is worried. Call her. I blocked his number. Smoothly, without hesitation, the way you delete an app you've been meaning to delete for months. Roxy's company was 3 people at that point: Roxy, a programmer named Chen who worked remotely from another city, and a college intern who came in twice a week. They had a product, a project management platform built specifically for small nonprofits, which was an underserved market everyone else had overlooked. It was good work. Roxy was brilliant at the technical side and terrible at everything else. I don't have money to invest, I told her on the first real day. I don't need your money. I need your brain. She sat me down and walked me through the books. I had studied business administration for 2 years before dropping to part-time to take care of the family's household management, which apparently now counted for nothing. But the knowledge was still there. I started seeing the gaps immediately. Their pricing was wrong. Their pitch deck was missing 3 key metrics that any serious funder would ask for in the first 5 minutes. Their onboarding process for new clients was completely undocumented. I got to work. We worked early and late, the way you can only work when you're building something that belongs to you. Roxy brought the vision. I brought the structure. It was the most useful I had felt in years. The voicemails piled up. I let them. I listened to every one the same day it arrived, sitting on my bed after Roxy had gone home, and then deleted them in sequence. Simone, you're being dramatic. Come home. Delete. Simone, your brother misses you. Delete. Hayden. Who had kicked me while I was on the floor? Who had said I wasn't his sister? Who had decided on Alara's behalf that I deserved to be punished? Simone, Alara is worried sick. I actually laughed at that one. Deleted it. Simone, I made your favorite meal. I sat with that one for an extra second. My favorite meal. The thing she reached for when she wanted me to fold. The offering that was supposed to prove the ledger was balanced. A meal, in exchange for a year of my dignity on the patio. Delete. Simone, please. I'm begging you. Delete. Hayden's text came on a Tuesday. Simone, stop being a child. Come home and apologize to Alara. This has gone on long enough. I looked at my keyboard for a moment. Then I typed. I have nothing to apologize for. And I'm not your sister anymore. You made that clear. I sent it. Then blocked him. Not angry. Not with a racing heart. Just done. The same way you close a browser tab you've had open for too long. 3 months in, we closed our first serious client. A network of environmental nonprofits across 4 states, 53 individual organizations, annual contract. It wasn't huge money, but it was real. Repeatable. Proof that the model worked. Roxy and I went out for dinner to celebrate. We ordered the second cheapest bottle of wine on the menu and split a dessert and sat in the restaurant until they turned up the lights on us. We're going to make it, she said. I already knew that. But hearing it out loud in someone else's voice was something different. Yeah, I said. We are. 1 year. We had hired 3 employees. The intern had come on full time. We had moved out of Roxy's apartment setup into a small real office with actual furniture and a coffee machine that worked reliably, which felt like a significant milestone. I rented a better apartment. 1 bedroom, a window that faced the street, a kitchen with enough counter space to actually cook in. I bought a second-hand car that needed 1 repair in the first month and nothing after that. I wasn't rich. I wasn't close to rich. But I was not a burden on anyone. I was not dependent on anyone's goodwill or anyone's tolerance. My mother got a new number and called. I didn't recognize it, so I answered. Simone. Her voice was smaller than I remembered. It's been a year. Can't you forgive us? I walked to my window. Outside, a dog was pulling its owner down the block. I don't need to forgive you, I said. I need to live my life. We're still your family. I thought about the patio. The folding cot. The laundry. The apple. The group chat with 4 people in it. Hayden's foot connecting with my ribs. No, I said. You're not. You gave my room to someone else. You gave my place to someone else. You chose, every time there was a choice, to choose someone else. There's nothing left for me there. She was crying. I recognized the sound of her crying. I used to fold instantly when she cried. Would say anything, agree to anything, just to make the sound stop. That response had been trained into me over 20 years. It wasn't there anymore. I hope you're well, Mom. I meant it, approximately. Don't call this number again. I hung up. Blocked the new number. Ate dinner. 3 years. The conference was in a mid-sized city I'd never been to before, in a hotel ballroom with too much carpet and very good coffee. I was on the speaker lineup, 3rd session, Friday afternoon, scaling mission-driven tech on a lean budget. Our company's logo was in the program. My photo was next to it. I had done 7 of these now. I was comfortable at the podium in a way that still surprised me sometimes. The gap between who I had been, folding laundry on a patio, being told I was too sensitive, and who I was standing here. After the session, people came up. Business cards. Handshakes. A few genuine questions about our platform. I answered all of them. A woman was waiting at the edge of the group. I didn't recognize her at first, the context was wrong. Then I did. My mother's sister. My Aunt Petra. I hadn't seen her since before everything. Simone. She waited until the others had moved away. Your father passed away last month. I looked at her face. She was watching mine for something. What I felt was, nothing, exactly. Not the sharp absence of feeling that comes from deliberately suppressing something. Just genuinely, nothing particular. A fact, arriving and landing in a neutral space. I'm sorry to hear that, I said. Are you coming to, well? The funeral was last week. Then I didn't hear about it in time. She had the grace not to push that. We both knew I hadn't been told deliberately. We both knew why. He's in the family plot, she said. It was what he wanted. I nodded. I hope he rests in peace. She looked at me for a moment. That's all? That's all. She searched my face for longer than was comfortable. Then she nodded once, gathered herself, and walked away. I went back to the coffee table. Poured a fresh cup. Checked my messages. Had a 20-minute conversation with a nonprofit director from Ohio who wanted a demo next week. That night, a text from a number I didn't have saved. Simone, it's Alara. I know you hate me. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I never meant to take your place. I just wanted a family. I read it twice. There was a version of me, the one who had folded their laundry and shared her apple and moved her bed to the patio and told herself it was fine, who would have cried reading this. Who would have stayed up half the night trying to figure out whether the apology was real, whether there was something worth salvaging, whether she could be the bigger person again. I typed, you wanted a family. You got one. I wanted a family too. I lost mine. I hope it was worth it. Sent. Blocked. Deleted. Turned off the lamp. Went to sleep. On a Saturday in autumn, Roxy is on my couch with a bowl of popcorn, watching something that involves a lot of car chases. She has been on my couch most Saturday evenings for the past 2 years. This is her apartment as much as mine at this point. The second key is on her keyring. Are you okay? She asks. The tone of it tells me she's been aware all week that something has been sitting with me. I'm fine. Really? I look around the room. At the shelves I built myself on a Sunday afternoon with a drill Roxy borrowed from a neighbor. At the plants on the windowsill, 3 of them, all alive, which feels like an achievement. At the woman on my couch who has been my real family for longer than I've been willing to say out loud. Really? For the first time in my life. Really? She tosses me a pillow. Good. Now shut up and watch the movie. I catch it. Sit down. The car chase is very loud. She has turned the volume up past what the occasion requires. This is also what she always does. I watch the movie. I eat some of her popcorn. Outside, someone's dog is having opinions about something, and the sound drifts up through the window, and the city does what it does on a Saturday night. I don't think about my parents. Or Hayden. Or Alara in my old room with her smug eyes and her second-hand mother. I think about Monday. A product meeting at 9. A client call at 11. Chen has been working on a new feature we want to launch before the new year. I think about what's ahead. I was the spare daughter. The sister they didn't want. The cousin who had to give up her room, her family, her apple, her dignity in installments until there was nothing left to take. They assumed I would stay because I always had. They assumed I would fold because I always had. They assumed that one day, when they'd had enough of the performance they'd built with Alara at the center of it, I would still be there in the patio, waiting to be let back in. I wasn't there. I wasn't at the funeral. I wasn't on the phone when my mother cried. I wasn't reading Alara's apology and giving her the absolution she needed to feel okay about what she'd done. I am here. In an apartment that is mine. With a company that is mine. With a person on my couch who chose me. I didn't forgive them. I didn't forget them. I didn't curse them or fight them or spend years building a revenge that would make them understand the size of what they had thrown away. I just stopped thinking about them. And that, the stopping, the quiet, the simple fact of my life continuing without them in it, that is worse for them than anything I could have planned. They had me. They let me go. Now they have each other. I have everything else.